What's going on, everybody? All right, we're going to talk about strumming dynamics. This is for you guys getting into open chords for singer-songwriters. I'm going to put this on my artist coaching Instagram as well. So I want to get into it. I had a great lesson today. And what I'm trying to do, what I'm expanding to, I have a lot of students that want to get out. They want to showcase their tunes. A lot of you guys are keyboard players, really, really great piano and keyboard players that are moving onto the guitar because that fits some of the songs that you're writing. And to be able to get out there and kind of showcase them live, you want to be able to do them with guitar. So we're getting into some of these things. So what we were really working on today was being able to control the dynamics of our strumming. So kind of a sign of a little bit of an immature guitar player, let's say like at an open mic or whatever, is coming out kind of baselining at an 80% volume. Now, there is a time for that. That does make sense, but that is not the usual. And even if that does fit the mood of the song, being able to navigate those dynamics is so important if there's another mood that you want to get. So we were doing a song, and the opening was... right? And already that starts setting a tone for the song. So if that starts making sense, being able to deliver that all within dynamics, even if I just stuck to one chord, just using those dynamics, the moving between 10% volume to 60 to 70% volume. Right, and having so much dynamic, and it's not just all 6 strings at the same time, it's not full on volume at the same time. Now, when we're coming out and kind of hitting that 80% streamline, what usually happens is we start getting a little bit exhausted because we're engaging a larger muscle group with our right hand. So even though it doesn't seem like we're getting exhausted, what happens is to try to bump that 80% up a little bit more, we're using the same muscle groups and just trying to put a bunch of power behind it. And then if you guys have ever ran really fast, sprinted for a long time and then stopped and or running really like a marathon or something like that, and walking, you get really, really shaky. You're engaging a smaller muscle group just by casually walking, and that's the same if we're doing this, that if you're using that 80% muscle group there, that is fatiguing the smaller muscle groups. Right? And then jumping down to utilizing those, you start to lack that control. So we want to control our 10 to 20, 30, 40% muscle groups so that is always developed and always there, and we're adding the appropriate amount of musculature to get louder. That may sound like a long explanation or whatever, but it's really not that difficult. So what we usually do is just starting with one chord, just up and down, super, super light. Now there's so many variables in there. Drilling the pick into the strings, that's gonna add volume. Gripping the pick even harder so it doesn't glide, it really digs in, that's also gonna add volume. So if you're going lightly, just dragging lightly over the strings and having a little bit of a looser grip and much less musculature, right? And for a lot of people you'll almost feel those small muscles kind of I don't even know, get a little, they do. They start getting a little fatigued if you're not used to that. So then the main exercise from there is going to be you can gradually get louder. I don't think this is going to take anybody a long time to start developing. But we want to be able to add these spikes in volume without adding volume to the strums before and after that. So if we throw this on the 3, so we were just doing 2 chords, G to C add 9. Now you can just do G if you want, but we would add a spike on 3. So 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and seeing if you can really, really control that, jumping up only on that 3 and not on the end of 3 or on the end of 2, and having that kind of control. And then also, I do this a lot with my lead guitar students. So how quiet can you make all of those strums, and how loud can you make that one in particular? That takes way, way more control of those muscle groups. So that is something that we were working on today. Now the next step from there was doing one measure on the 3 and then the next measure on the and of 3. So then you have a down and then you have an up. So it goes like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So you're controlling those upswings. Now, the other great thing about this exercise is it's not just going to strengthen the muscles that we need. It's strengthening our control muscle. So it's actually the muscle that will stop our hand from strumming, which is not something usually like if you kind of take the strength of strumming, people just kind of like strum until it putters out to nothing, and they're not really strengthening the muscle that contracts and stops and then pulls back up the other way. So it does strengthen those. That's going to help you get that control. And this is all stuff that happens over the course of years and years and years of playing. That's why it's nice to get to take like the shortcuts to try to get this feel in a much shorter span of time. So that is what I want you guys to start with. And then I'll have another strumming lesson probably tomorrow. I'll be doing another lead guitar lesson later today. So thank you guys, and I will see you soon.